Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to our witnesses for your testimony today. I'll be honest, though, I found it a little bit distressing. And I just want to have a quick conversation with you. I want to gain some clarity on this. We have talked, several of you talked about, we're really falling behind China. And that's happening at a very rapid pace. And I really want to kind of understand why. I know Dr. Mumgard, you talked about how since 2022, China has spent $6.5 billion on investing in fusion research. And during that same period of time, the U.S. has barely done just over 30% of that investment. But I really kind of want to wrap my mind around what's happened here. Because if we're falling behind and we've made massive strategic investments, you all are here with your hands out for another $10 billion, right? Yet the testimony that I've heard today really can only be characterized as we're failing. And I'm genuinely not saying that as an attack on you. I'm saying that from the perspective of an American. This is a very bipartisan committee. The work that we do is critically important for the future of our market economy and our national security. But we've done something wrong here because we've invested $40 billion over the last several decades in fusion research, and we're behind. How did that happen? And is China stealing our research and development? Are they smarter than we are? Are their strategic investments better because they're doing a significant amount of investment in a very, very short period of time when we are basically running a slow burn of investments across a long period of time? And I say this only from the perspective of I hate losing, and I'm not willing to let this country lose to China in this space. How do we fix it?
Thank you for the question. I also hate losing. What they've done is they've done the same playbook they did in other areas. So they're not a leader in innovation. We are a long-term investment leader in innovation. But when the time comes to put something at risk at scale, they have the ability to mobilize to do that in a way that the US doesn't. They have a centralized control system that allows them to pool large amounts of money, capital, and organizations to go and build things that need to be built. And fusion needs things built. And so the fusion advances don't happen just in labs of single PIs of bright people that come here. They happen in coordinated fashion by building multi-billion-dollar facilities. And the Chinese have seen that those facilities will pay off. They saw NIF. And they immediately said, let's build one that's a little bit bigger. It's not as advanced. It's probably a generation behind in technology, but we'll make up for it in speed, scale, and coordination. And like the reports are that there's people working 24 hours a day on building that. There's students on cots because that's the playbook, hard and fast the minute the window opens. We sort of are still debating whether the window is open, and that's to our detriment.
Yeah, just to follow up on what Dr. Mumgard said. I mean, I think the investment that's been made, there's been tremendous payoff. I mean, the U.S. has innovated and got us to the point where we are. The world, you know, China is building things that were designed and developed and ideated in the U.S., right? So the moment that we have before us is to actually carry it forward. So we've set the ground, we set the stage, we set the ball, right? We just need to spike it, and that's where we are. It's not that we failed. If we don't take action now, we will. So now's the time to move forward, and we have to change our approach and our mindset. We're trying to get to a commercialized energy source. We got a lot of R&D to do, but we have to change the way we're approaching it.
Just a few comments too. You know, I agree. You know, we can't afford to lose this, and we wouldn't have started our company if we didn't think we could win this. Our company could win this, and America could win this. I want to reassure you. I think we still do have the lead, but now is the time to act on that lead. And I point to programs that NASA COTS program has come up as a great example. Like that is a great example where we were the ones that developed the technology. We got to space. We lost that industry to Russia, but then the NASA COTS program came in, and with a catalytic investment of, you know, that was around $800 million, that reasserted U.S. leadership. We now own that commercial space industry again, and that investment is worth, you know, 500, 1,000x what the government put in that for an American industry.
People really drive innovation here. And we see it time and time again. And universities spin that, right? And we also provide workforce. But if we start contracting those governments, federal investments in those sectors, we lose people. Right now, we're at risk of people leaving for other sectors I mentioned, but also other countries. The day my grant ended this year in a federal uncertainty level of funding, I actually coincidentally received a foreign talent recruitment email. And so when you're in stress of like how I'm going to fund these early career researchers to keep this innovation drive that will then impact private industry, that's really scary, right? And so you're looking at how you can keep supporting that innovation. So I think making that that certainty continue with federal funds is critically important.
Thank you for your responses, and I appreciate the commentary. The only thing I tell you is outcomes matter. They're everything. We've got to win. Thank you, Chairman.